how Minecraft was made. Here we go.
On a normal evening in 2009, a man gets home from work and boots up his computer. His name
Marcus Pierce.
is Marcus Persson, but he often goes by his screen name, Notch.
Only real Minecrafters know. Only real Minecrafters
Based in
know.
Stockholm, Sweden, Persson spends his evenings developing passion projects, fun coding exercises that sometimes end up as completed video games, but more typically become abandoned after a short time.
It is nuts how the biggest game in the world is technically an indie game, you know? Like, not really anymore, but it was.
The file he starts today
The
will
creation of it
change the
was.
gaming industry forever, and will make him one of the wealthiest Swedes in the world. This is the making of Minecraft. In the very beginning, the game that Persson was creating wasn't called Minecraft. It was called
Cave
Ruby
game.
Dung,
Damn it.
based on the two main elements of the game, the Ruby Lands and the dungeons.
What a terrible name. What an absolutely terrible name. Yo, you want to hop on Ruby Dung? Ruby Dung? Who the... What kind of name is that? It's like Matt
It's
Jive or
going to
something
be
stupid.
a fantasy group manager. You don't actually do any quests yourself, but rather assemble, equip and level up heroes, and send them on quests you gotten from the local town.
Persson created a texture atlas, which is essentially one large image file that contains lots of smaller textures. Initially, this atlas only
Peak.
contained two textures, grass and cobblestone. Quickly, he realized that it was becoming too pixelated and blurry. Frustrated that he couldn't get all of the features just quite right, Persson scrapped the idea, not realizing that he had just created the first prototype for what would later become Minecraft. One major limitation was that he could only work on his games during the limited free time after his day job. He worked as a programmer at Midas Player, the Swedish game developers that would later go on to create Candy Crush.
Candy Crush? All the 70-year-old grandmas are going crazy right now.
However, his bosses at
Holy.
Midas Player were unsupportive of Persson's hobby. And once they discovered that he was making his own games in his free time, they felt that there was a competing interest, and they barred him from continuing making his own games. But Persson couldn't be stopped. Rather than comply, he decided to quit his job in order to continue working on his own passion projects. And he found a new job with the software company J-Album, where he befriended the CEO, Carl Manne. J-Album was not a game studio, but a company that made digital photo album software. And Carl Manne not only didn't mind what Persson did in his free time, but instead, he actively encouraged him to continue designing games. At this point, Ruby Dung still sat on the shelf. A scrap project
Who's
with
gonna change the name, dude? That's so bad.
little more development. That is until April 2009, when Persson came across a new game that would change everything for him. The game was called Infiniminer.
I'm
Infiniminer is a multiplayer game where players team up against other players to dig blocks in search of minerals. As blocks are dug up, they can then be used to create structures to impede other teams. Though the objective of the game was to mine up more minerals than your opponents, players quickly abandoned that goal.
If built in a different format, I actually feel like this kind of fits like today's landscape, you know, with like, because now I feel like the biggest games are multiplayer games. You know, like Among Us, Lethal Company, things like that seem to attract a lot more people just because, I mean, it's just a fun thing to do with your friends. I mean, obviously this didn't work out, but maybe in a different format, I think this could work today.
And instead realized it was much more fun to just build things. But despite the game's enormous potential, its development was plagued with difficulties. The original creator of Infiniminer had intended to create a large network of players, but with the game's code constantly being modified and rewritten, the game soon fragmented its user base as the different versions of the game weren't compatible with each other. Frustrated, Barv decided to abandon the project as a whole, and the game's code became open source. The first time Persson tried Infiniminer, he immediately had an epiphany that this was the game he wanted to do, and he had lots of ideas of how he could make it better. He sat back down with the previously abandoned Rubydung and got to work tweaking it into the new vision he had in his head.
Do you think the guy that created Infiniminer thinks about it every day, that he was the one that inspired this guy to create the biggest game ever? Like, I feel like you can't just forget about that, you know? You can't move past that.
Using his existing textures, Persson took a full weekend to rework some of the coding and art style. He called his creation Cave Game, and with just a little more work, it moved from just a test to a working prototype. Now, all he needed were players, and he had a plan for where he could get some early testers.
Looking like it. It's already looking like the game.
Just a few weeks prior, Persson joined an online indie game forum called TIG Source. Here, developers can receive feedback from other developers on games they are creating. Persson began discussing with others in the community, who quickly suggested a new name for the project: Minecraft: Order of the Stone, named for the two actions you could do in the game, mining and crafting, though Persson would later drop the subtitle from the name.
That's actually like such a good name, though. Such a good name. I mean, it's really, really, really rudimentary and simple, but like, I'm telling you, man, it flows off the tongue. I'm not gonna lie, it does.
He then decided that this forum would be the best place to start getting early players and have some immediate feedback for how he could continue developing the game. And so, on May 17, 2009, he shared the first...
Whatever happened to Minecraft Story Mode? Did they cancel that, or did it end?
Link that would allow others in the forum to begin playtesting the game.
Minecraft.
It ended?
It's an alpha version, so there might be some crashes.
Just 12 minutes after he posted the link, the first person provides feedback.
Oh hell, that's pretty cool. I just dig around in the ground a bit and suddenly I'm in this underground cave. Great sense of exploration already.
Just 3 minutes later, the next reply.
You can't get it legit anymore because of Telltale going bankrupt. Oh really? Damn, that sucks. I still got the demo on Xbox 360, so.
Animations are fantastic. It's generally really derivative at the moment of Infiniminer.
Quickly, more and more people are downloading, providing feedback, and, above all, praise. And though the forum was made for feedback, players couldn't resist posting the things they have made. And since people were showing off screenshots of their creations, more and more people were encouraged to jump in and give it a try themselves. The community also had plenty of feedback for...
Super impressive, actually, with the blocks that they had at the time, because that looks pretty good. I mean, it's pixel art, but like, this is like one of the first things I saw in Minecraft.
And give it a try themselves. The community also had plenty of feedback for features that could make Minecraft even better, and Persson was on it, updating his blog nearly every day with the progress he was making on adding many of the ideas presented.
I plan on having several game modes. Creative, Survival, Team Survival, a Fortress.
Team Survival and Fortress? Well, would Fortress be like a tower defense type thing, do you think? Or what is Team Survival? I guess that would just be like an SMP. That's not that crazy. Fortress one, that was interesting.
Though players were consistently finding the
Or is it
gameplay
like Fortnite Save the
addicting, in
World?
this early stage there was no way to save what they had built. There was also no way to play with friends or to play on maps that others had created. Persson would often sit down with the intention to add these commonly requested elements to Minecraft, but he would repeatedly get distracted due to the challenges of implementing multiplayer and instead would focus on more fun features.
Okay,
So he
multiplayer was
procrastinated.
boring, but here's water. Should Minecraft have blood?
What the hell was that water? Dude, did water used to take up? Did y'all see that?
It was boring, but here's water.
If water moved like that now, it'd be cooked. It'd be cooked. Thank God they changed that.
Next up was adding multiplayer, which would take quite some time, but Persson was determined to get it up and running, though not without some more side projects along the way and more challenges to overcome.
So I didn't do multiplayer code, but I had fun. Multiplayer will be in the form of a downloadable server, which will broadcast its IP to the main server when it starts up.
Aren't you going to need to put in your credit card information, your IP address, and every single transaction you've ever made, and you'll be able to join my Minecraft server, so.
I feel stupid. Server admins could host any data they want on their servers. This means anything, including bad things.
Oh, wait, maybe I was... Hold on.
Multiplayer's starting to go good. I've got player connect, disconnect going, and map streaming on login.
Wasn't entirely off on that one.
With the release of multiplayer, nearly a month had passed of constant updates, fine-tuning, and debugging since Minecraft was first introduced to the TIG source community.
We're still in 2009?
And Persson realized that his passion project could be much more than just a game he was making as a hobby. He designed his pricing to reward early adopters. And despite the warning that people wouldn't pay for such a game, sales started coming in almost immediately. Persson even started seeing such a high influx in his income that his PayPal account was frozen due to suspected fraud. It was also enough that he was able to change his status from full-time to part-time at J-Album, allowing him to spend even more time on developing Minecraft. Month after month, Persson followed the same process, listening to feedback from those who were playing, implementing more features that were commonly requested, and fixing any bugs that were reported. He also, during this time, met another person on the TIG source forum that could help him with the game's sound design. Daniel Rosenfeld is a musician and sound engineer, and he began to collaborate with Persson to provide sound effects for Minecraft as
C418, the goat. The goat. So good. The music's so good.
well as produced the iconic soundtrack that is still used to this day.
Bro, okay, yeah, it's still used, but now when I turn on the Minecraft music, bro, this music doesn't play most of the time, and it pisses me off. It plays that new stuff, that new gen, all right? Bring me back. Now I feel like I'm an unk saying this, but like, I want Subwoofer Lullaby. I want my son Venus. You know, I want the good stuff, all right?
By 2010, sales of Minecraft had grown to the point where Persson was able to quit his part-time job with J-Album altogether. And it was clear that as Minecraft continued to expand, Persson would need an actual business structure to handle the explosive growth. But since he was uninterested in actually running a business, he decided to call in some help. First was a friend and colleague from Persson's old days at Midas Player, Jacob Porser. Second was yet another colleague, but this time from J-Album, the former CEO, Carl Manne. Together, the three would establish the company that would officially back Minecraft, Mojang.
Alright, there we go. I finally got one thing right.
Persson was no longer working from home, but had built a small team. The game was still not officially finished, but it already became immensely popular amongst players. And by August of 2010, Minecraft had grown enough to catch the attention of other, much larger game developing companies, such as Valve. Persson was invited for a meeting to the headquarters of the gaming giant in Bellevue, Washington, and he accepted the meeting halfway across the world. And while there, Persson thought he could also meet some Minecraft fans.
Do you have any dedicated RAM?
I have all day on August 31st, free in Bellevue, if you guys could organize something on the forums. And I figured we could call it Minecraft Con 2010, even if it's just 3 people sitting around in uncomfortable silence for 20 minutes.
During the meeting with Valve, the company offered Persson a position. However, he decided to turn the offer down as his focus was so
Whoa. Minecraft could have been on Steam. If Minecraft was on Steam, dog, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. Minecraft is the only thing I'm okay with having a separate launcher for, and I stand by that.
solely on Minecraft. After these negotiations, however, Persson joined a small gathering of people that had come around because of his blog post. A little more than 50 people turned up to hang out in
Dude, getting 50 people though, like honestly, that's pretty impressive.
a park. A meetup that would go down as the very first Minecraft Con. And this spontaneous event would give the Mojang team an idea. By the end of 2010, Minecraft had reached over 700,000 sales. And yet, by this point, Minecraft was still technically not a finished game. It was still in
That's
its
nuts.
beta phase. But
That's
Mojang
nuts in 2009. You know, nowadays I feel like that's getting more and more common where games can get really big before they're even fully released. But, dude, 2009?
its development team was close to finishing the actual
This might be
release.
2010 by now, but still.
With so much hype already built around the game, Mojang knew they needed some fanfare to go along with the game's launch. And in November 2011, they decided to host an official Minecon. This time, instead of an impromptu
So much
gathering
aura.
of 50 people,
If you
it would
if you
be
went
a
to this, you have so
sold-out
much aura.
organized event with 4,500 attendees. And in
Wow.
quintessential early 2010s fashion, this
All right,
Minecraft convention had a party
Forget that thing I said about having aura.
DJ'd by Deadmau5. All of this would be leading
Dude, yeah, bro, I went to the club last night. Oh, yeah, what club? I went to Minecon, bro. It was sick. Yeah, we got crazy.
up to the grand finale of Minecon
Dude, we
2011.
had swords and pickaxes, and we were mining and we were crafting. Oh my god, it was awesome.
The official release of the game. As the Mojang team gathered on stage, Persson would stand by a large blocky lever, and with one pull, Minecraft was officially launched
Yep.
as a finished project. Even though the game was now finished, the team would continue working on it, releasing updates and adding new features, even until today. But for Persson,
Yeah, but you know what pisses me off, dude? Is they don't add, like, okay, the updates they do now are so stupid. I'm sorry. I haven't liked an update in a while. I don't like 75% of the things they do now, to be honest. Add some real things that make me want to play the game again. I'm sorry. Please. Please, bro.
Yes,
They
of course.
add things that take an hour to complete and then I'm done. The trials. I did everything in an hour. I have all the mace, everything. It's all done. Add more stuff. They have so many people working on this game. They have so much time and they don't do it. Almost like selling your game to $1 billion company is a bad thing for the game. Yeah, I don't blame him though, to be honest. I don't blame him, but that doesn't excuse Microsoft for not, dude, like they have the resources. Do some real stuff with the game, you know?
continues work on
But I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If I got $1 billion offer to sell the game, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm taking that. I'm sorry, I'm taking that. Minecraft mods are 100x better than the updates they release now, dude. That's actually facts. I'm not like, I don't even play that many mods, but when I do, I'm not gonna lie, it's better. Like, it's what you have to go to now. I feel like it really makes the game different more than the updates. Like,
an inevitable
A lot of games
feature
don't even
from
give you the
players
option.
began to emerge: pay to win. Mojang has
No.
always allowed public servers to be created so that players around the world can play the same map together. However, this opened the door for some to take advantage and create servers where players have to spend money to gain an advantage. These pay-to-win services violated the end-user license agreement of Minecraft, which is why, in a controversial move, Mojang began to crack down on these servers and gave them a deadline to either adapt or to shut down.
I don't know. That's a weird scenario. I wasn't really into that. I never spent that much money on servers. I probably spent like I think I bought $10, or I think I spent $15 total on Minecraft servers. $5 for VIP on Hypixel and $10 for oh god, what was it? It was like a flight ability in some random server that I played all the time. But like they were worth it. I'm not gonna lie, they were worth the payment. Like, hey, take my money, man. Hey, take my money. I don't, you know.
Following this statement by Mojang, there was immense negative feedback. And though Persson was no longer working on Minecraft, he still received the bulk of the criticism. In frustration, he sent out a tweet on June 17, 2014 that would change the direction of Mojang forever.
I sold out to Hypixel.
Anyone want to buy my share of Mojang so I can move
I
on
can't
with
talk. Sold out to Microsoft. All I got is a rank on Hypixel. Yeah.
my life? Getting hate for trying to do the right thing is not my gig.
The very next day, Mane began fielding calls from
Fair.
companies that wanted to know if Persson was serious, including studio giants EA,
Ugh.
Activision,
Ugh.
and Microsoft. And after giving it a thought, Persson realized he actually was serious about selling Mojang so that he could finally distance himself completely. And after several rounds of negotiations, a deal was struck.
Mojang has confirmed it's being sold to Microsoft for $2.5 billion.
The deal with Microsoft meant that
Insane.
the Mojang founders, Persson, Mane,
That's got to be the most for one game, right? For a singular game is insane.
and Porser would step away completely, whereas all of their employees would be barred from layoffs. The Microsoft deal was worth a staggering $2.5 billion. And as
I know they bought Mojang technically, but Minecraft, I mean, come on. That's what they bought it for. Let's just be honest. That's what they bought it
the major shareholder of Mojang, Persson had become a billionaire overnight.
for. Dude, didn't he buy some like big ass house in Beverly Hills?
This is the part of the script that should have been the easiest to write. After all, it's a classic happy ending. Persson had achieved the unthinkable. He turned his passion project started at home
I think
into
he's,
an
like,
empire,
depressed or
becoming wealthier than he ever imagined. In the following years, Persson would continue developing games, and he would do what
Holy! Is that his boat? Is that his boat? Holy shit!
billionaires do, moving to
Minecraft.
Los Angeles and buying the most expensive mansion ever built in Beverly Hills,
Yeah.
hosting extravagant parties. But yet, this is the part of the script for this video that was by far the hardest to write. In 2017, a series of racist and homophobic tweets led to Microsoft distancing itself from
I'm not really
Persson.
aware of this.
They scrubbed his name from the game and did not invite him to the 10th anniversary celebration of Minecraft.
I was aware of that. I didn't know
Persson's
why, though.
tweets were bad. Really bad. And they have significantly impacted his legacy in recent years. For me, the hard part about writing this section is figuring out how to talk about someone's harmful comments without making things worse. In situations like this, it often feels like there are two paths someone can take. One where they double down on their harmful views, find a crowd that supports them. But then there is the hard path, acknowledging the mistakes, learning from them, and making an effort to change. And the easier we make it for people to take this second path, the more might take it. Marcus Persson's story is undeniably inspiring. There are few stories that highlight as well as this how powerful a good idea is, and how much creativity can flourish within constraints as his.
So is
And
the-
more than anything,
the wording
he has
right.
created a world that I've always experienced as incredibly inclusive. When is Minecraft the most fun? Is it when you open a new world, starting to build something new from scratch? Or is it when you've built an empire, and when you have an abundance of everything there is? Marcus Persson is now in that second stage of life.
You always found the mob vote really stupid. Yeah, just give exactly. Yes, that's part of. Yes, exactly, bro. For real, that's so real. Yeah, just like how about dude, like they add one mob in like months. Like you can't add a couple more when there's some kid in Ireland with a laptop that's making 500 mobs a day on a mod. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just dumb. It's just dumb.